Did you know that the way you cook a vegetable completely changes the flavor that ends up on your baby's spoon? That's exactly why steaming gets recommended so often. The heat works in slowly, softens the fibers, and leaves the color and the taste intact with no salt, no oil, and nothing strange added. Broccoli that's been steamed actually tastes like broccoli, and to a palate that's still forming, that matters enormously. Today I'm saving you hours of research with the 7 best baby food makers you can actually get hold of here in Europe, all of them properly worth the space on your worktop. All the links are waiting for you down in the description. Let's dive in. We're starting with the Grownsy 5000 BG, and it goes first because it's the one most families need without realizing it. 6 functions packed into a narrow body that fits in even the smallest flat kitchen. It steams, blends, sterilizes, defrosts, and reheats from the same spot, with no pans to scrub and no separate blender to rinse out. The clever bit is the twin basket. Chicken sits on the bottom layer where the heat hits hardest. Delicate vegetables go on top, and both come out perfectly done without swapping flavors. It's 8 in the evening, the little one has just dropped off, and you chop half a sweet potato and a bit of chicken breast, load it, press the button, and go and sit down. 20 minutes later, there's a silky puree ready for today and tomorrow, and nobody has woken up because the motor is remarkably quiet. In exchange for that pocket-sized footprint, you won't fill a freezer in one go, so it's built for cooking fresh every day, which for an awful lot of people is exactly the point. That slim vertical shape has another benefit the photos never show you. It slots easily into a suitcase when you're off to the grandparents for a week. Where the Grownsy is all about automating everything, this next one goes the opposite way entirely, and there's real logic to it. The Bear 6-in-1 also has the dual steaming baskets, but it separates cooking from blending. You steam first, transfer across, then decide for yourself. It looks like an extra step, and that's precisely where the trick lives, because that middle moment lets you pour off the condensation water before you blend. Say goodbye to those watery purees you get when a machine steams and blends in the same jug with nothing draining away. Thicker texture, concentrated flavor, you in charge. The tank is stainless steel, so it copes far better with time and lets you descale with citric acid without worrying about damaging anything. It sterilizes and warms bottles too, which means you'll be using it long before the first spoonful of solids arrives. It is a bit fussy about the water level and the lid seating properly, and 2 days in you'll have the knack and it runs like clockwork. One tip that applies here and to every model on this list: chop everything into 1 centimeter cubes so it all cooks evenly and you're not left with hard lumps hiding at the bottom. So much for the sensible options, because this next one has spent decades in French kitchens doing something none of the others quite manages. The Béaba Babycook Solo is the classic everyone else tries to copy. It cooks in roughly 15 minutes and blends to a fineness that borders on ridiculous. No strings, no lumps, restaurant smooth in one pass. What really won me over is what it does with the cooking water. Instead of flooding the puree, it collects underneath, and you add it back a spoonful at a time until you land on the exact texture your baby will accept this week, because that changes every month. Pouring that liquid away is like buying wildly expensive avocados and keeping only the stone. It sits firmly in the premium tier, that's true, and the tank opening is narrow, so set yourself a monthly reminder to descale it and you'll have no trouble at all for years. If your baby keeps rejecting textures and you're at your wit's end, this is the one that turns things around. Now things get genuinely serious. The Babymoov Nutribaby Plus is less a baby food maker and more a command center. A multi-level steaming tower on one side, a 3-speed blender on the other, both running in parallel. Do you realize what that means? You can sterilize the breast pump parts while blending dinner at the same time. The tiered tower also gives you staggered cooking, so hard root vegetables go in at the bottom from the start, and soft fruit joins them upstairs a few minutes later, and nothing overcooks. Sunday afternoon, squash, carrots, and peas loaded up, a podcast on in the background, and after a couple of rounds, the freezer is stacked with labeled portions for the whole week. On a Tuesday night at 9, absolutely shattered, you'll think back to that Sunday very fondly indeed. Another touch that earns its keep: it warms bottles gradually and under control. Nothing like the old jug of boiling water routine. It's a beast and it takes up proper room, so it's ideal if you've got worktop to spare and you refuse to compromise on anything. What if you don't have to spend that much to get started properly? Your issue might not be capacity at all, but not wanting to part with serious money before you know whether this whole cooking for the baby thing will stick. That's where the Kostte 1501 comes in. 6 functions and 0 drama. steaming, blending, self-cleaning, sterilizing, defrosting, and reheating, with an interface you understand on the first go without opening the manual. The reheat function is one of those you don't appreciate until you use it. You take frozen puree cubes out, drop them in the basket, and the steam brings them up to temperature evenly. Without those scorching hot spots, the microwave leaves you stirring and waiting and stirring again. It does what it promises with no frills, and it's perfect if you want something simple that works. Though if you're after finely tuned automatic programs, others here go deeper. This is the one I'd point a complete beginner towards while they find their rhythm, because it covers all the basics and asks nothing of you. This next one suits a completely different sort of person. The Sweety Fox 7-in-1 is the best looking of the bunch and also the most complete on sheer number of functions, self-cleaning included, all run from a beautifully clear panel. The finish is superb, honestly the kind you're happy to leave out on display. Nursery morning, apple and spinach steamed together, blended smooth, straight into the pots and into the fridge, and the next day it leaves the house with you tucked in the changing bag. No preservatives, no hidden sugars, and you knowing exactly what's in every spoonful. Just one thing. This is electronics surrounded by steam, so wipe the front panel dry whenever you refill the tank and it'll last you far, far longer. Against the Kostte, you're paying a step up for the design and those extra functions. Against the Babymoov, you gain worktop space and give up capacity. It comes down to which of those pinches harder in your day. One left, and it's the one that comes up most often in the comments. We're finishing with the big brother of the Béaba, and the keyword here is double. The Babycook Duo keeps exactly the same blending quality as the Solo, but with two independent bowls working simultaneously. Something savory on the left, something sweet on the right, both ready inside a quarter of an hour. Against the Solo, the difference isn't in the result, but in the pace, and it's a huge gap. The Solo cooks for the day, the Duo fills the freezer in one sitting. For families with twins, or anyone who cooks once a week and refuses to lose a whole afternoon to it, this is another level entirely. It shares its brother's narrow tank, so the same descaling routine applies, and it's among the priciest on the market. If it's going to be cooking for 2 or 3 years straight, the maths works out on its own. The results are so fine too that at some point you start using it for the adult soups as well, and it stops being a baby gadget and becomes just another appliance in the house. Right, the summary, which is what you came for. If your kitchen is tight on space and you cook fresh daily, the Grownsy is your bet. If you want millimeter control over texture and you can't stand watery purees, the Bear. For the finest puree possible above every other consideration, the Béaba Babycook Solo without hesitating. For serious batch cooking and clearing a sterilizer and a bottle warmer off your worktop in one move, the Babymoov Nutribaby Plus. If you're just starting out and want something simple that delivers, the Kostte. For anyone wanting the complete package with lovely design and every function going, the Sweety Fox. And if there are twins at home, or you cook the whole week in a single session, the Babycook Duo gives you the most time back. All the links are waiting in the description, along with whatever offers happen to be running. Tell me in the comments which one you've gone for, because I love reading them. See you in the next one.